Good morning, students. Say your prayer. Thank you. நான் ஒரு நல்லாசிரியர், நான் உங்களுக்கு தாயாகவும் தந்தையாகவும் இருந்து முறையாக அன்போடு கல்வியை போதிப்பேன். நான் ஒரு நல்லாசிரியர், நான் உங்களுக்கு தாயாகவும் தந்தையாகவும் இருந்து முறையாக அன்போடு கல்வியை போதிப்பேன். நான் ஒரு நல்லாசிரியர், நான் உங்களுக்கு தாயாகவும் தந்தையாகவும் இருந்து முறையாக அன்போடு கல்வியை போதிப்பேன். Okay, students, take your social science book and take page number 57. So today we will start with the next topic, Islamic reforms. So in our previous class we discussed about the reform movement in Hinduism. So today's class we will start with the Islamic reforms, and we will also discuss about the reform movement in Parsis and also in Sikh, and also finally about the social reformers of Tamil Nadu. Okay, so first we will discuss about the Islamic reforms. So Islam, one of the major religion of India. So next to Hinduism, so the most populated, so the most populous religion in India, in Indian subcontinent, so during that time was Islam. So there, so some reformers arose, so who opposed the existing, so prevailing social evils in Islam religion and want the Muslims to accept the modern culture. Okay, so who were the reformers? So what they did to the Islam culture? So what was their contribution? So we will see in this class. Okay, so just to recall what we discussed in our previous class. So in our previous class we discussed about Hindu revivalism. So what I mean by revivalism? So the process of creating interest in something again. So the process of creating interest in something again. So in Hindu revivalism, first we discussed about Swami Dayananda Saraswati. So name the Samaj founded by Swami Dayananda Saraswati. Arya Samaj. So in which year it was founded? 1875. Then name the book, so published by Swami Dayananda Saraswati, which enjoyed wide circulation. Satyartha Prakash. So we have discussed that also. Then his famous cry, so go back to Vedas. Then Arya Samaj attempted to check the incidents of religious conversion in British India. So we have discussed that also. Then we discussed about Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. So he was a simple priest of Dakshineswara temple near Kolkata. So according to him, Jiva is Shiva. That is, service for man must be regarded as God. So then in his name a mission was set up. So Ramakrishna mission was set up by his disciples. So the most famous disciple of Ramakrishna Paramahamsa was Swami Vivekananda. So we discussed about Swami Vivekananda. Okay, so he became famous after attending the World Congress of Religion, so which held in Chicago in 1893. So he was an saint, but he was a courage person. So he attracted many youth, especially from Bengal, and many militant nationalists. So consider him as their role model. Then we discussed about the Theosophical movement, which was founded by Madam H.P. Blavatsky and Colonel H.S. Olcott. Initially it was founded in USA in 1875. Later it shifted to India at Adayar in Chennai in 1886. So it stimulated the Theosophical Society stimulated the study of Hindu classics, especially the Upanishads and Bhagavad Gita. Then we discussed about the contribution of Annie Besant. Then we will came to anti-caste movement, so which was in South India. So first we discussed about Jyotiba Phule, then Iyengar and also Narayana Guru. So Iyengar and Narayana Guru, so they were from Kerala. Jyotiba Phule, so he is from Maharashtra. So he and his wife so opened the school. So opened schools for the depressed class and also for the women. Then Narayana Guru and Iyengar, so both, so they also worked for the upliftment of the depressed class people. So these things only we have discussed in our previous class. So today we will move to Islamic reforms. So after the suppression of Great Revolt of 1857, so what is the Great Revolt of 1857? So can you remember? So in 8th standard you have learned it. So so the British so began to conquer India. So from the year 1757 onwards. So 1757, so Battle of Plassey. So from especially from that year onwards, they began to conquer India, and by 1856 they conquer almost the most important parts of, so all parts of India. So the major parts of India. So in 1857, so our Indian rulers, so some of the Indian princes and rulers, they rose against the British dominance. Yeah. So that is called as Great Revolt. Yeah. But it was suppressed by the British. Yeah. So the Great Revolt was suppressed by the British. Yeah. So after the suppression of Great Revolt of 1857, Indian Muslims looked to Western culture with suspicion. So suspicion means suspected of doing something wrong, illegal or dishonest. So suspicion means it was dishonest, it was illegal. So after the suppression of Great Revolt of 1857, Indian Muslims, so they thought the Western culture was illegal and it was wrong. So the community feared that the Western education, Western culture and Western ideas would endanger their religion. So the Muslim community feared that Western education and Western culture and Western ideas would endanger. So would endanger, so to make danger for their religion. So therefore only a small section of Muslims accepted the new avenues for modern education. So therefore only a small section of Muslims accepted the modern education. So most of the Muslim community, so what they fear means that the Western culture and Western education and Western ideas would endanger their religion. Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, so the important social reformer, so in the 19th century in Muslim community was Sir Syed Ahmad Khan. So he was born in Delhi into a noble Muslim family. So Syed Ahmad Khan born in Delhi. So he born in Delhi into a noble Muslim family. Syed Ahmad Khan thought that lack of education, especially modern education, had harmed the Muslims greatly and kept them backward. So according to Syed Ahmad Khan, so Muslims refused to study the modern education. So it harmed. So it harmed means it affected the Muslims greatly. So and that only kept them backward. So since the Muslims unable to so refused to accept the modern education, it kept them backward. So he exhorted the Muslims. So exhorted means to try hard to persuade somebody to do something. So to try hard to do something. So he tried hard to make the Muslims to accept the Western science and take up the government services. So according to Syed Ahmad Khan, so the lack of so Muslims why they were backward means because they refused to accept the modern education. So he tried to make the Muslims to accept the Western science and take up the government services. He founded a scientific society and translated many English books, especially science books, into Urdu. So he founded a scientific society and translated many English books, especially the science books, into Urdu. So Urdu, the language of the Muslim community. He believed that the interest of the Muslims would be best served if they bonded with the British government. So Syed Ahmad Khan believed that the interest of the Muslims would be best served. So the interest of the Muslims would be best served if they bonded, if they had good relationship with, if they had good friendship with the British government rather than pitch in with the rising nationalist movement. So according to Syed Ahmad Khan, if the Muslims, so they cooperate with the British government means they can get what they need. So instead of attaching with the nationalist movement, instead of attaching themselves with the freedom struggle, if they attach themselves, if they had bond with the British government means then they can get the things so what they want. So he advised the Muslims to take to English education and to concentrate on it. So Syed Ahmad Khan advised the Muslims to take themselves to English education and to concentrate on it. So Sir Syed Ahmad Khan born in Delhi into a noble Muslim family. So he thought that lack of education, especially modern education, had harmed the Muslims greatly and kept them backward. So that's why the Muslims are in back position. So that is in economically and in the field of knowledge and science. So the Muslims are in backward. Why means because they refused to learn the modern education. So he asked the Muslims to accept the Western science and take up the government services. So he founded a scientific society and translated many English books, especially the science books, into Urdu. He believed that the interest of the Muslims would be best served if they bonded, so if they have bonded with the British government rather than pitch in with the rising nationalist movement. So pitch in means to join in and help with an activity by doing some of the work or by giving money, advice, etc. So so to pitch in. So rather than pitch in with the rising nationalist movement. So it was totally useless when the Muslims join with the nationalist movement. So according to Sayyid Ahmad Khan, if the Muslims joined the nationalist movement means there is no use. But if they bonded with the British government means so their interest was best served. So he advised the Muslims to take to English education and to concentrate on it. Sayyid Ahmad Khan's movement was called as Aligarh movement, so called because it was centered around the Aligarh Mohammedan Anglo-Oriental College founded by him in 1875, so which is a landmark in the history of Indian Muslim education. So Sayyid Ahmad Khan's movement was called as Aligarh movement. Why means because it was centered around the college, so Aligarh Mohammedan Anglo-Oriental College, which was founded by him in the year 1875. So the Aligarh Mohammedan Anglo-Oriental College, it was a landmark in the history of Indian Muslim education. So the college was raised to the status of university in 1920. So the college was founded in the year 1875. So Sayyid Ahmad Khan's activity as a movement so centered around this college only. So that's why it was called as Aligarh movement. It was founded in the year 1875. And it was the landmark in the history of Indian Muslim education. So this college was raised to the status of a university in the year 1920. Next, Deoband movement. So first we discussed about Sir Syed Ahmad Khan and his Aligarh movement. Now Deoband movement. So Deoband was a revivalist movement organized by the Orthodox Muslim ulema. So Deoband was a revivalist movement. So revivalism means so to show interest in the old things. So simply we can say so to show interest in the old things. Okay, so Deoband was a revivalist movement organized by the Orthodox. So Orthodox, so following the traditional or generally accepted the rules or beliefs of a religion. So Orthodox means so following the traditional and the generally accepted rules or belief of a religion. So Deoband was a revivalist movement organized by a Orthodox Muslim ulema. So ulema, a body of Muslim scholars who are recognized as having special knowledge of Islamic sacred law and theology. So ulema means it is a body, yes, it is a organization, group of Muslim scholars who were recognized as having special knowledge of Islamic sacred law and theology. So they have special knowledge in Islam culture. So they were called as ulema. So Deoband movement was organized by this Orthodox Muslim ulema. So the ulema under the leadership of Muhammad Qasim Banatawi. So the ulema under the leadership of Muhammad Qasim Banatawi and Rashid Ahmad Gangotri. So founded the school at Deoband in Saharanpur district of the Uttar Pradesh in 1866. So the ulema, so the Muslims, so who have special knowledge in their law and culture. So the ulema under the leadership of Muhammad Qasim Banatawi and Rashid Ahmad Gangotri, so founded a school at Deoband in the Saharanpur district of the Uttar Pradesh. So in Uttar Pradesh, so there is a district called as Saharanpur. So in that they started a school at Deoband in the year 1866. The school curricula, so the school curricula shut out English education and Western culture. So they closed the English education and Western culture. So the instruction imparted was in original Islamic religion and the aim was moral and religious regeneration of the Muslim community. So in their school, so they shut out English education and Western culture. So they closed the English education and Western culture. Instead, they teach the students in the original Islamic culture and their aim was moral and religious regeneration of the Muslim community. So they closed the English education. So they never teach English education and Western culture. Instead, they teach the students, so they impart, so they impose knowledge about the original Islamic religion and their aim was moral and religious regeneration of the Muslim community. So Maulana Mahmud Al-Hasan became the new Deoband leader. So the Jamaat ul Ulema, so the Council of Theologians. So theologians, a person who studies theology, that is study of religion and belief. So the Jamaat ul Ulema, so that means the Council of Theologians, led by him, gave a concrete shape to Hassan's idea of protection of the religious and political rights of the Muslims in overall context of the Indian unity. So Maulana Mahmud Al-Hasan became the new Deoband leader. So the Jamaat ul Ulema, that is the council of the theologians. So theologians, so those who study about the religions and belief. So the Jamaat ul Ulema, led by him, gave a concrete shape. So it gave him a definite shape to Hassan's idea of protection of the religious and political rights of the Muslims in the overall context of the Indian unity. So next, Parsi reform movement. So who were Parsis? So have you heard about this religion? In 9th standard, so we have discussed about some of the religion. So Buddhism, Jainism, and also Zoroastrianism. So can you remember that? So Zoroastrianism. So it was originated in Persia. So the Parsis, so they were the followers of that Zoroastrianism religion. So in the middle of the 19th century, the reform activities began in Mumbai. So in the middle of the 19th century, the reform activities began in Mumbai. Fardunji Navroji, so founded the Rahnumai Majidasnan Sabha. So that is Parsis Reform Society in 1851. So in the middle of the 19th century, the reform activities began in Mumbai. Fardunji Navroji founded the Rahnumai Majidasnan Sabha. So that means Parsis Reform Society in 1851. Rast Goftar, that is the truth teller, was the main voice of the movement. So in the middle of the 19th century, so the Parsis reform activities began in Mumbai. So first, so Fardunji Navroji, he founded the Parsis Reform Society in the name of Rahnumai Majidasnan Sabha in 1851. So the truth teller, so in their language it was Rast Goftar, so was the main voice of the movement. Behramji Malabari organized a campaign for legislation against the practice of child marriage. So in the Parsis, so Behramji Malabari, so he was a Parsi. He organized a campaign for legislation. For legislation means so for making law. So he organized a campaign for making law against the practice of child marriage. So the community produced many leaders such as Firoz Shah Mehta and Din Shah Vacha, who played a big role in the early Congress. So the community, the Parsi community, produced many leaders, especially Firoz Shah Mehta and Din Shah Vacha. So they played a big role in the early Congress. So now there is a party called as Congress now. So do you know that? So Rahul Gandhi, Sonia Gandhi, so you know about them. So their party was Congress Party. So in the beginning of the Congress Party, so when the Congress Party was founded, in 1885. So in the upcoming lessons, you will learn about the Congress Party. So when it was founded. So during its initial stages, the Parsi community leaders such as Firoz Shah Mehta and Din Shah Vacha so played a big role. So in the middle of the 19th century, reform activities began in Mumbai. So Behramji Malabari organized a campaign for legislation against the practice of child marriage. So the community produced many leaders such as Firoz Shah Mehta and Din Shah Vacha, so who played a big role in the early Congress. Next, the Sikh reform movement. So Nirangaris and Namdaris. So first the Sikh reform movement. So Sikh, one of the religion, so founded by Guru Nanak. So who founded the Sikh religion was Guru Nanak. So first the Niramgari, then Namdari. So among the Sikhs of Punjab too, there were attempts to reform. So among the Sikhs, so in Sikh religion also, so there were some persons so tried to reform their religion. So first Baba Dayal Das, so he was the founder of Nirangari movement. So Baba Dayal Das, founder of the Nirangari movement, stressed the worship of God as Nirangar. So Nirangar means formless. So Baba Dayal Das, so he was the founder of Nirangari movement. He stressed the worship of God as formless, that is as Nirangar. So he rejected the idol worship. So rejection of idol worship, then rejection of rituals associated with idolatry. So he rejected the idol worship. So idol worship means so the practice of worshipping statues as God. Then reverence for the authority of Guru Nanak and of the Adi Granth. So Adi Granth, so the holy work of the Sikh community. So the reverence for the authority of Guru Nanak and of the Adi Granth formed the essence, so formed the main thing of his teachings. So he rejected the idol worship and he supported the authority of Guru Nanak and of the Adi Granth. So he reiterated the prohibition on meat eating. So reiterated means to repeat something that you have already said, especially to emphasize it. So already the Sikh community, it was wrong to eat the meat and also the liquor consumption. So that is alcohol consumption. So he reiterated. So he repeatedly said about the prohibition on meat eating and the liquor consumption. Among the Sikhs of Punjab, so there were attempts to reform. So Baba Dayal Das, the founder of the Nirangari movement, stressed the worship of God as Nirangar, that is as formless. So he asked the Sikh community to worship God as formless. So rejection of idols, rejection of rituals associated with idolatry, then reverence for the authority of Guru Nanak and of the Adi Granth formed the essence of his teachings. So formed the main aim, so main thing of his teachings. So essence means so something we add in food to get so more smell and to get attract. So like that. So Adi Granth formed the essence of his main attraction of his teachings. He reiterated the prohibition on meat eating and the liquor consumption. So next, the Namdari movement. So Niramgari movement means so formless. So the Namdari movement, founded by Baba Ram Singh, was another socio-religious movement among the Sikhs. So the Namdari movement, it was founded by Baba Ram Singh. It was another socio-religious movement among the Sikhs. So the Namdaris insisted on wearing the symbols of Sikhism except the kirpan. So the Namdaris insisted on wearing the symbols of Sikhism. So Sikhs, so they wear some symbols along with them. So so if I tell about a Sikh means, so what you remember? So their turban, their full hand, and they carry a sword like that. So the Namdari insisted on wearing the symbols of Sikhism except the kirpan, except the sword. Instead, Baba Ram Singh wanted his followers to carry a laddi. So instead of carrying a sword, Baba Ram Singh wanted his followers to carry a laddi. It considered both men and women equal and accepted widow remarriage. So Namdari movement considered both men and women were equal and they accepted the widow remarriage. It prohibited the dowry system and child marriage. So Namdari movement prohibited the dowry system and child marriage. So Nirangari movement was founded by Baba Dayal Das. So it stressed the worship of God as Nirangar. Namdari movement founded by Baba Ram Singh. It insisted on wearing the symbols of Sikhism except the kirpan. So instead of carrying a sword, Baba Ram Singh wanted his followers to carry a laddi, so to carry a stick. And it considered both men and women were equal and accepted widow remarriage. So next, in the wake of the gathering influence of the Arya Samaj and the Christian missionaries, the Singh Sabha of Amritsar was established. So Amritsar, which was in Punjab. So it was the holy place for the Sikhs. So during that time, so the Arya Samaj, so which played a major role in Hinduism. So it converted the Muslim and his Christian community into Hindu. So in the wake of the gathering influence of the Arya Samaj and the Christian missionaries, so the Singh Sabha of Amritsar was established. Its main objective was to restore the purity of Sikhism. So because Arya Samaj had reconverting the other religious persons into Hinduism, and the Christian missionaries, so they tried to convert the other community into Christianity. So in order to restore the purity of the Sikhism, so the Sikhs, so they established a Sabha, so Singh Sabha at Amritsar. So with the support of British, it established a Khalsa college for the Sikhs in Amritsar. So with the support of the British, it established the Singh Sabha established a Khalsa college for the Sikhs in Amritsar. So Singh Sabha was the forerunner of the Agali movement. So Singh Sabha was the forerunner of the Agali movement. So Agali movement is one of the important political organization in Punjab. So Singh Sabha, it was the forerunner of the Agali movement. So in order to restore the purity of Sikhism, so Singh Sabha was established by the Sikhs. Okay? So next, the social reformers of Tamil Nadu. So till now we discussed about the social reformers of whole India. So in which we covered so the reformers, so the North Indian reformers, and also in anti-caste movement we discussed about the reformer from South India, so that is from Kerala. So in that time, so in the 19th century, so there were reformers in Tamil Nadu also. So the important among them was Ramalinga Swamigal and Ayodhidasar. So about Ramalinga Adigal, you have studied in your Tamil subject. So already you learn about Ramalinga Swamigal. So Ramalinga Adigal. Yeah. So what was his famous quote? Yeah. So that Vadiya Payari Kanda Bodallam Vadinen. Yeah. So Ramalinga Swamigal. So Ramalinga Adigal. So who show his mercy even to plants also. Yeah. Then we will discuss about Ayodhidasar also. Yeah. So the social reformers of Tamil Nadu. First Ramalinga Swamigal or Ramalinga Adigal. Yeah, so he was popularly known as Vallalar. So Ramalinga Adigal or Ramalinga Swamigal was popularly known as Vallalar, was born in Marudur, a village near Chidambaram. Yeah, so Ramalinga Adigal, popularly known as Vallalar or Ramalinga Swamigal, was born in a village called as Marudur near Chidambaram. Yeah. After his father's death, his family moved to his brother's house at Chennai. After his father's death, Vallalar's family moved to his brother's house at Chennai. Despite having no formal education, he gained immense scholarship. So he have no formal education, but he have gained immense, so very great scholarship, so very great knowledge. So even though he didn't have the basic education, he was a well scholar. So he gained immense scholarship. So Ramalinga Adigal emphasized. So emphasized means special importance that is given to something. So Ramalinga Adigal gave special importance to the bond of responsibility and the compassion between living beings. So compassion means a strong feeling of sympathy for people who are suffering and a desire to help them. So Ramalinga Adigal, so he gave special importance so to the bond of responsibility and compassion, that is between living beings. So compassion means so showing mercy to the people who are suffering. So he expressed the view that those who lack compassion for suffering beings are hard-hearted and their wisdom clouded. Yes, according to him. So those who lack compassion, so those who did not worry about the sufferings of the poor people, so their wisdom, so their knowledge was clouded. So their knowledge was clouded means to show sadness, fear, etc. So their knowledge was clouded. He showed compassion and mercy on all living beings, including plants. So he showed his compassion and mercy on all living beings, including plants. So that's why it was called as Jiva Karnya. So Ramalinga Adigal emphasized so the bond. So the bond means so the attachment. So between the responsibility and the compassion. So responsibility, that is everyone have their responsibility, everyone have their responsible. So everyone have to show their compassion to the living beings. He expressed the view that those who lack compassion for suffering beings are hard-hearted or poor-hearted. So their heart was very washed, and their wisdom was clouded, and their knowledge was clouded, and their knowledge was dark one. So they have knowledge so which was clouded, they have dark knowledge. So he showed compassion and mercy on all living beings, including plants. So this he called Jiva Karnya. He established the Samarasa Veda Sanmarka Sangam in 1865 and it named as Samarasa Suddha Sanmarka Sadhya Sangam, so which means Society for Pure Truth in Universal Selfhood. So he established the Samarasa Veda Sanmarka Sangam in the year 1865 and it was later renamed as Samarasa Suddha Sanmarka Satya Sangha. So that means Society for Pure Truth in Universal Selfhood. So Society for Pure Truth in Universal Selfhood. So Ramalinga also established a free feeding house for everyone irrespective of caste at Vadalur. So Ramalinga Adigal, he established a free feeding house. So feeding means so giving food. So food house for everyone irrespective of caste, so without any caste differentiation. So in order to provide food to the poor people, he established a free feeding house at Vadalur in the year 1867 in the wake of a terrible famine in South India in 1866. In South India in 1866 there was a worst famine. So which killed so many thousands of people. So by seeing this, in order to feed the people freely, he started a free feeding house at Vadalur. So till so that house was providing food those who are, so those people, so who have no support, so who are weak and those who have no support, so they are fed with food regularly till now. So for that he lighted a lamp in the year 1867, and that light was still glowing. So and the light, so which was lighted by Ramalinga Adigal in the year 1867, that was still glowing. So if you went to Vadalur means you can see that temple and also the light glowing inside that. So just a simple, so lamp, so glowing. So Ramalinga Adigal established a free feeding house for everyone irrespective of caste at Vadalur in the wake of terrible famine in South India in 1866. So he showed sympathy to all living beings, so even to plants. So that's why he was called, his thought was called as Jiva Karanya. His voluminous songs were compiled. So his songs, so his volumes of songs were arranged together and published under the title called as Thiruvarutpa. So his voluminous songs were compiled. So his songs, so which were in different volumes, were collected and so they were compiled together and published under the title Thiruvarutpa. So the songs of grace. So grace means the kindness that God shows towards the human race. So the kindness that God shows towards the human race. So his voluminous songs were compiled and published under the title Thiruvarutpa. So Thiruvarutpa, so the songs of grace, was the work of Ramalinga Adigal. So Ramalinga Adigal, so popularly known as Vallalar or Ramalinga Swamigal, born in Marudur near Chidambaram. So after his father's death, his family moved to his brother's house at Chennai. So even though he have no formal education, he gained immense scholarship. He gained a very great knowledge. So he emphasized the bond of responsibility and compassion between living beings. He expressed the view that those who lack compassion, so those who lack compassion, so compassion means a strong feeling of sympathy for people. So those who lack compassion for suffering, so beings are hard-hearted and their wisdom was clouded. So clouded means so closed, so covered. He showed his compassion and mercy on all living beings, including plants. So this he called the Jiva Karanya. He established the Samarasa Veda Sanmarka Sangam in 1865, and it was renamed as Samarasa Suddha Sanmarka Sadhya Sangha, which means the Society for the Pure Truth in Universal Selfhood. So he also established a free feeding house for everyone irrespective, so of caste, so without any differentiation, at Vadalur in 1867 in the wake of a terrible famine, in the worst famine which was faced by the South India in the year 1866. His voluminous songs were compiled and published under the title Thiruvarutpa, that means Songs of Grace. Next, Ayodhya Pandita Ayodhya was a radical Tamil scholar. So radical means so very good Tamil scholar, the writer, then Siddha medicine practitioner, journalist and socio-political activist. Pandita Ayodhya was a good, very good Tamil scholar and a writer, and he was a Siddha medicinal practitioner, and he was a journalist and a socio-political activist. So he was born in Chennai, and he was fluent in Tamil, English, Sanskrit and Pali languages. So Pandita Ayodhya was fluent in Tamil, English, Sanskrit and Pali languages. Pandita Ayodhya, he campaigned for social justice and worked for the emancipation. So emancipation means to free somebody. So to free somebody, especially from legal, political or social restriction. So he campaigned for social justice and worked for the emancipation. So to free the untouchables from the caste clutches. So to free the untouchables, so from the caste domination, he worked. So he campaigned for social justice. He worked for the construction of a casteless identity and castigated caste hegemony and untouchability. So he worked for the construction of a casteless society, and castigated the caste hegemony and untouchability. So caste hegemony means controlled by one organization, etc., within a particular group. So he wanted to construct a casteless society. He considered education as an important tool for the empowerment and became the driving force behind the establishment of several schools for the untouchables in Tamil Nadu. So he considered education as an important tool for the empowerment and became the driving force behind the establishment of several schools for the untouchables in Tamil Nadu. So if we wanted to make the untouchables important place means, so if we want to give the untouchables important place in society means, so we want to give education to them. So for that, Ayodhya established a number of schools in Tamil Nadu. So Pandit Ayodhya founded the Advaitananda Sabha to raise the voice for the temple entry of the untouchables. So during that time, so the untouchables, the depressed class people, so they were not allowed to enter into temple. So Pandit Ayodhya founded the Advaitananda Sabha to raise the voice for the temple entry of the untouchables. In 1882, John Rathinam and Ayodhya established a movement called Dravida Kalagam. So not Dravidar Kalagam, it was Dravida Kalagam, and launched a magazine called Dravida Pandian in 1885. Yes, in 1882, John Rathinam and Ayodhya established a movement called Dravida Kalagam and launched a magazine called Dravida Pandian in 1885. He founded the Dravida Mahajana Sabha in 1891 and organized the first conference of the association at Nilgiris. So in 1882, John Rathinam and Ayodhya established a movement called Dravida Kalagam and launched a magazine called Dravida Pandian in 1885. He founded the Dravida Mahajana Sabha in 1891 and organized the first conference of the association. Organized the first conference of Dravida Mahajana Sabha at Nilgiris. So Pandit Ayodhya he was disappointed with the Hindu Dharma, which served as the basis for propagating and validating caste in Hindu society. So Pandit Ayodhya so he was disappointed with the Hindu Dharma because Hindu Dharma so supported and validated the caste system. So Hindu Dharma it supported, so propagate means so spread and promote an idea wisely. So according to Pandit Ayodhya Hindu Dharma so spread the caste system widely, and it validated caste system. So influenced by the Theosophist organizer Colonel H.S. Olcott, he went to Sri Lanka in 1898 and converted to Buddhism. So influenced by the Theosophist organizer, so Theosophist Society. So who was the founder of Theosophist Society? Colonel H.S. Olcott and Madam H.S. Blavatsky. So influenced by Colonel H.S. Olcott, he went to Sri Lanka in the year 1898 and converted to Buddhism. In the same year, he founded the Sakya Buddhist Society at Madras to construct the rational religious philosophy through Buddhist religion. So in 1898, he went to Sri Lanka and converted to Buddhism. In the same year, so he founded the Sakya Buddhist Society at Madras to construct the rational, so the acceptable religious philosophy through Buddhist religion. He started a weekly journal called as Oru Paisa Tamilan in the year 1907 and published it until his demise in 1914. So he started a weekly journal called as Oru Paisa Tamilan and he published the journal until his demise in 1914. So until his death in 1914. Okay, so Ayodhya Pandit. Okay students, so today's class we discussed about the Islamic reforms, then Parsi reform movement, then Sikh reforms, then social reformers of Tamil Nadu. In Islam reforms, so we discussed about Sir Syed Ahmad Khan. So name the movement started by Sir Syed Ahmad Khan. Aligarh movement. So name the college founded by Sir Syed Ahmad Khan. Aligarh Mohammedan Anglo-Oriental College. In which year it was founded? 1875. Then Deoband movement. So who founded the school at Deoband? So the ulama leaders. So who were they? Muhammad Kashim Anadawi, then Rashid Ahmad Gangotri. Then we discussed about the Parsi reform movement. So name the reformers from the Parsi religion. Fardunji Navroji, then Bairamji Malabari. Then so the leaders from Parsi community, so who played a big role in the Congress were Feroz Shah Mehta and Dinshaw Vacha. Then we discussed about the Sikh reform movement. So what are the two reform movement? Nirangaris, then Namdaris. So who was the founder of the Nirangari movement? Baba Dayal Das. Then Namdari movement, Baba Ram Singh. Then so name the Sabha, so established by the Sikh community. Yeah, Singh Sabha. So where it was established? Amritsar. Then we discussed about the social reformers of Tamil Nadu. So who were they? Yeah, Ramalinga Swamigal, then Ayatidasa Pandidar. So Ramalinga Swamigal. So he showed compassion and mercy on all living beings, including plants. Yeah. So name the Sangha. So established by Ramalinga Adigal. Yeah, Samarasa Suddha Sanmarka Sadhya Sangha. Yeah. So his voluminous songs were collected and published under the title called as Thiruvarutpa. Yeah. So where he established a free feeding house. At Vadalur. So he was born in Vadalur. So he was born in Marudur, but he established a free feeding house at Vadalur. Okay, then we discussed about Ayodhyadasar. Yeah, so Ayodhyadasar. So he was the person who gave the word like the Dravidan and all. Okay, so he gave importance to the word Dravidan. Yeah, so Dravida Kalagam, the movement established by Ayodhyadasar and John Rathinam. Yeah. So name the weekly journal. So published by Ayodhyadasar. Yeah, Oru Paisa Tamilan. So in which year he went to Sri Lanka? In 1898. Yeah, so he worked for the upliftment of the depressed class people in Tamil Nadu. Yeah, so in this case, so he was a forerunner to Thandai Periyar and even to Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. Yeah, so Ayodhyadasa Pandidar. Okay, so about them only, so we have discussed it in this class. Okay, so take your book, students. So take page number 57. Yeah, textbook reading. Yeah, so read that Islamic reforms and Sir Syed Ahmad Khan and also Aligarh movement, then Diyaband movement. So read it as your textbook reading. Yeah. Then homework. So today's homework, I will send you as PDF file. Okay, so because the answers for this question is not in a single line. Yeah, so just I will send you as PDF file. Okay, okay, students. So if you have any doubt in this lesson, so please contact me, because from this lesson onwards, Indian history started. Yeah, so these lessons are very, very important. Yeah, so next onwards, so 6th lesson. So we will come to Tamil Nadu. Yeah, so the very important lessons from this unit onwards, 5th unit onwards. Yeah, so give more importance to Indian history. Yeah, so world history is also important, but give more importance so to Indian history. Okay, okay, students. If you have any doubt, once again, so please call me and ask me. So thank you. Complete your homework. So have a nice day.